going on YouTube? WKDAD, Team DKF. You guys really like that dual video in the Go format with the H.A.M. And lots of you wanted the deck list, so I'm going to put it up a little early. I wasn't going to, but I got a big response. You know, it was like I finally got some love for one of my Go format videos. People have been tearing me a new one with these videos. They want the current format. They're like, well, you know, this isn't relevant. And my response to them saying that the Go format, playing in Go format, building decks in Go format, and recording duels in Go format is, well, the format you're playing in now is irrelevant because in a matter of weeks, everything could change. The OCG is getting their extra pack in September or October, whatever. They're getting Tour Guide and all these other Extreme Victory cards. So, you know, that's a sign that the meta could shift. There could be some cards hit. Remember, they did hit Tengu, and that destroyed Tengu Tour Guide plants. So, yeah, so, you know, your decks could be irrelevant. You're playing Inzectors. Inzectors is tearing up shit in Japan. That deck could be gone. Hieratics, my favorite deck right now. You know, they could limit or ban a Tomb. They could limit or ban Red MD. They could restrict Convocation to 1. So, you know, I just don't see any reason to perfect a deck, to work on a deck, to refine it to the point that I'm in love with it, and then the morning of September 1st find out that all that work was for nothing. That is so frustrating. I go through format after format, refining a deck, you know, for 6 months, and then the deck catches on and Konami hits it and all my work is for nothing. That's why I like going to past formats when, you know, when it gets close to the end of the format, because I don't want that heartbreak. Enough babbling. Onto the deck list. H.A.M. H.A.M stands for hard as a motherfucker. If you guys don't know, you kept asking. This isn't the exact deck list that I used in the video. I couldn't find some cards, and I'll explain as I go through. So we got Dark Magician of Chaos, the creator, Lackluster Soldier. This is Mystic Knight of Jackal. I tried to find English version of it, but I couldn't find one in my piles of cards, and nobody at my locals knows what it does, so I replaced it with Sacred Phoenix of Nephthys. The reason why I like it is because it's a level 7, and so if they call 8, you know, I won't have 3 8s. I also have this big fucker, 2700 attack. Mystic Knight of Jackal's effect is when he destroys a monster by battle, sends it to the graveyard, it's put on top of the deck. So if they get a Sanguine Search, but if, let's say I run over a Jinzo, the Jinzo goes on top of their deck after it hits the graveyard. Plus he's fucking 2700 and he's a light attribute. 2 Chaos Sorcerers, Jinzo, Air Knight Parshath, and yes, I'm rocking the OCG. I have 2 OCG Chaos Sorcerers somewhere, but I'm sad pandas. For those who didn't know what this is Mephisto, the Infernal General. Comes out of Dark Crisis. He's just like Air Knight, and he has Trample, but he has 100 less attack, 1700 defense. So he tramples, and when he does battle damage, he plucks a card from your opponent's hand. And I'll get to the reason why I run Mephisto and Air Knight in just a moment. Visor Shock, you guys saw in the video why I run Visor Shock. It's a giant Trunade for the field. I've talked to a lot of people trying to build decks similar to this, and they're like, oh, it's so inconsistent, you know, they just wall up. They're not running Visor Shock. I mean, he has really shitty stats, you know, 800 attack, 600 defense, but you don't run him for his stats, you run him for his effect, and he can metamorph into really good shit. You know, they try to stall behind face down spies and all that back row. You just bounce everything to the hand. There was no effect Veiler. People didn't run Solemn Judgment. There was no Solemn Warning. There was no Gores. So he's just amazing. 2 Sacred Crane and Royal Magical Library. I run 2 just so I can have something to normal summon. And then Royal Magical Library. I mean, you see, I only run 13 monsters. The rest are spells. And I can go ape shit bananas with the Royal Magical Library. Spells. 1 Mercy Provisions, 2 Reload, 2 Scapegoat, 2 Enemy Controller, Snatch Steal, Premature, Metamorph, Delinquent Duo, Graceful, Pot of Greed, Card Destruction, 2 Dimension Fusion, 3 Monster Gate, 2 Monster Reincarnation, 3 Reasoning, Giant Grenade, and Lightning Vortex. Alright, so Aeronite and Mephiст. Scapegoats was at 3. That was their OTK stopper. However, these two guys had Trample. He's a dark attribute, he's a light attribute. I could dump to the grave, banish him for Black Luster Soldier or Chaos Sorcerer, play Dimension Fusion, and, at least if I don't get the OTK, I can at least pierce some goats, pluck a card, draw a card, and, still be golden. The Creator, he can't be special from the grave, but his effect is amazing. Special summon a monster from the grave by ditching a dead card from your hand. It's so hot. Dark Magician of Chaos, there's a reason why that fucker is banned. You guys saw in the video. Some of you even saw me play it on Dueling Network, how apeshit this card is. Emergency Provisions, that could be any other card. That could be a third Goats. It could be a third Dimension Fusion. I run it because Ring of Destruction, because after I go off with Dimension Fusion a couple of times, my life points is low, and a Ring of Destruction, my Dark Magician of Chaos or something could really hurt. Also, it allows me to pay for Dimension Fusion. I can just set a bunch of dead spells and then send them all to the grave and gain some life points and be able to play my Dimension Fusion. Or I can even set some cards, activate Dimension Fusion, then chain Emergency Provision, and then gain life points off of that too. So just kind of cool things. Reload, you guys saw my Sacktastic play where I reloaded for 2 cards and was still able to go ham. So, but it also helps to mitigate some of the shitty draws you can. Look at this. I only run 3 normal summonable monsters. The rest are tributes or semi-nomis. I got a couple of double tributes, and they help me dig. Most often I have 6 cards in hand, and so I can reload for 5. Go into a Reasoning, get Dark Magician of Chaos, grab my Pot of Greed or Graceful Charity and fill my hand back up. Dimension Fusion, grab the Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, fill my hand up some more. So, even though it's a -1, it turns into some pluses pretty quick. The 2 enemy controllers, I don't understand. One of the people in the comment section on my video almost guessed my deck card for card. They missed the enemy controller. The 2 enemy controllers are for Scapegoat, so I don't get goat locked. I can enemy controller off one of my goats, take their monster. I can metamorph it. I can monster gate it. I can put their goats into attack mode. It's basically a change of heart, brain control, whatnot. And so that's why I like it. That's why it's in here. Then, of course, you got some of the Go format staples. 1 Metamorphosis, simply because my graveyard is a toolbox. If I need it, I can get it with Dark Magician of Chaos. Most times I don't need it, but it's a good card to have, especially after a Snatch Steal or enemy controller play. I can metamorph my Dark Magician of Chaos. It gets banished. Play Dimension Fusion, get a different spell. So it's stupid busted. Card Destruction is another important card. It's like Reload. I can mitigate my shitty hands. I can dump light and darks to the graveyard. And, even if I did draw my semi-nomis, my BLS, Chaos Sorcerers, I have Monster Reincarnation. This came out in Rise of Destiny. And I can add them back to my hand. I can ditch a dark, add BLS to my hand, then banish, light and dark. Like I can ditch my deck, Dark Magician of Chaos for Monster Reincarnation, add this to my hand, banish, special, Dimension Fusion, bring these back, grab a spell, use his effect, get back a Genzo or whatnot, get back a Crane, Visor Shock, Mephiст, just stupid shit I can do. That's why it's in there. The heart and soul of the deck, Reasoning, Monster Gate, that's why it's called Reasoning Gate. Reasoning, your opponent picks a level, and then you mill cards from the top of your deck until you hit a monster that can be normal summoned. People think that if you hit a monster, you stop. No, it's when you hit a monster that can be normal summoned. So if you hit like a Surprise, you'd have to stop because Surprise can be normal summoned, but it cannot be special summoned. So it would stop right there. But if you hit Chaos Sorcerer or Blackluster Soldier, you know, a monster that can only be special summoned by a specific way, then you would keep going. And the same goes for Monster Gate. You tribute a monster. I mean, perfect things to tribute. Scapegoat tokens, my opponent's monster, like Snatch Steal monster, Premature Demock or something. And that's what that's for. Lightning Vortex is what put this deck over the top, because after a big Dimension Fusion play, your opponent will have banished monsters. You Vortex their field, or even after a Visor Shock play, they chain Scapegoats, Vortex their field, push for game. Giant Trinade and Heavy Storm. I mean, I only need these two pieces of back row removal because, again, my graveyard is a toolbox. Demock can get what I need. Plus, I have Visor Shock. And, you know, all these are reusable, recyclable. I mean, almost every match, I see all 40 cards in one way or the other just because of the mill. And the key to playing this deck, and for those of you who play DDT will know, you have to memorize the cards in your deck. You have to know, if you're playing Reasoning, what cards you want to hit. And then once that monster hits, you can decide, okay, do I want to monster gate? What's left? What's in my hand? What plays can I make? Is it worth it? Because it's really cool if you know that all you have left only monsters you have left in deck is like Demock or Creator. And then like you hit Sacred Crane off of Reasoning, you draw a card, then you monster gate and hit that Demock or Creator. A lot of times that's a game. I'm right there. So down below, tell me what you think about the deck list. It's really, really fun. I suggest you guys, you know, try your own techs. You know, if you don't want to run 2 Crane, you can run 1 Crane. You could throw the Sacred Phoenix and Nephthys in there and just go with 12 monsters. You could run, I don't know what level 3, 2, or 1 you would want to run, because Sinister Serpent is balls in this deck. Sacred Phoenix and Nephthys is really awesome just because if they kill it with Sack Armor, Torrential, or Mirror Force, it's a recyclable monster. But at any rate, if you do play it, I suggest you don't do like the others. I suggest you play these 3 level 5s. People who build this deck don't include these guys, and they're just too important to win in the GOAT format because of the Scapegoats and because of the back row. It doesn't really matter how low the fact their attack is low. You're just worried about their effect to mitigate the GOATs and to get the attribute, because they're almost always going to say either level 8, level 6, or level 4. And then you hit that Visor Shock off of Reasoning. Oh my goodness. Also, I mean, oh yeah, this is my sexy fusion deck. I also have another deck built from that format, Zombie Chaos. This is the deck I won one of my first regionals with. It was really cool. I think it was in either Tulsa or Oklahoma City back in 2005. I got my first invite with. That's probably another reason why I'm in love with GOAT format. So, long and windy, tell me what you think. I really, really love this deck. I may just keep it together just so I can troll people randomly if they ever want to play GOAT formats next event I go to. It's DUBKDAD, enjoying the old times. Oh, thumbs up this video if you want to see a deck with Dark Magician Knight in GOAT format. And I'm out.